I'm Ethan Young, and luckily, right behind the microphone on my dark side, isn't that funny? It's I'm probably all of me is my dark side, to be honest. But I guess I mean the side that is not straight facing this light over here that I have. Dude, I popped this gigantic fucking zit, and it had like orange pus in it, which makes me think of like old pus, right? Because you think like white pus, right? That's new pus. That's like pus that just came around, don't you think? And then like yellow pus is like, it's been around for a little while. It's spent some time there. But orange pus, that's like, that's old pus. Like, think of how long that's been, came to a head, and it's been sitting there above surface and just like exposed to the elements and enjoying the UV rays, and then comes out, so had to do it. I was like, it's better than this gigantic whitehead on my face, which again, now that I realize it's over here so you can't see it so much, it's hidden anyway, so you might not have seen it. But if you did, my God, you would want to fucking explore. You'd want to go down and see what is going on in that fucking region of disgusting areas. But what else was I thinking about? Oh, I was thinking about, did we say this is the Ethan Young podcast? I'm not really sure. So if we didn't, hey man, fucking welcome. Hey amigo. Hey friend. Hello. How are you today? I'm happy you're here. I welcome you. I hope that you'll subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll like the video. Maybe I'll give you a reason to like the video, but you'll have to stick around to find out. It may or may not happen. Yeah, apparently I am a gigantic sucker, I guess, because the only part of the trial that I saw between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard so far was Amber Heard's testimony. So based on her testimony, I did mention it last time, but it's fair to say that you may not have seen that. So I thought that this was one of those situations where we take our relationships and we take our past experiences out of the scenario, and we give an honest look at what's going on. And so I've seen lying from many women in the past. I've seen falsifications in order to try to hurt, take away, destroy. I've seen many attempts in lying and falsifying information in order to negatively affect somebody from a relationship where things did not go right. But I thought that we're supposed to look at each situation like objectively and not, and I fuck that up all the time. I probably, be lucky if I got it right this time. It's like I bounce between objectively and subjectively. I always mean objectively when I say it, but I'm not that smart, unfortunately. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't remember what I was talking about now, so that's good. But I thought we were just, I do. I thought we were just supposed to look at it objectively. I thought we were just supposed to be like, okay, my past relationships, my past experiences, they don't have anything to do with this. My opinion of either one of these people doesn't have anything to do with this. We're just looking at the pieces of information that are allowed to be shared through the confines of the case. And again, I'm referring to the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, defamation trial, where it seemed like, and I did mention, like, even last time, like, it's unfortunate that there are women that will make up things. It's unfortunate that there's situations where you don't always know when you hear these things whether or not they're the truth, or if there's some sort of, again, falsification, unfortunately, maybe an attack, maybe a reason to try to take something away from somebody. So I've seen that, and I could certainly see why it would happen in this situation. But I guess I didn't look at it like that. I thought I was supposed to just look at it and be like, that's not my ex or an ex of mine, nor is it anybody else's ex. It is Amber Heard, and it's against Johnny Depp. And I guess I did try to, even last time, refer back to the only clear evidence that she provided would be like videos and audio recordings and things like that. But even those, like, again, so if we refer back to the area in the plane where he's just moaning in the bathroom, like, I guess the biggest problem I think that I've made so far is not getting both sides of the story prior to making an opinion, because I did come in halfway through and I made my opinion based on what I saw, not based on everything that's been provided up to this point. And so, though they have not deliberated as I've recorded this, I've only seen the Amber part, and so maybe I need to go back. Maybe I missed an important part where I didn't see what Johnny Depp said. Everything that everybody has to say about it that I've heard indicates that he's a very charming individual, which I don't deny him. I can't imagine he's not. And I guess I even said last time, I guess, what if even only a fraction of it is true? But it seems like the general consensus that I'm getting from social media and other podcasts and things like that is that this is just some sort of 100% false. And again, that's just my take, so I can't say that. It's not like that's true, but it's just that seems to be the take, right? I don't know. I just see that there might be more to it, is my thought. And I'm sure there is. I'm sure that even though what we've seen, but that was what I was saying is, like, I guess, I don't know. Don't you think if she was trying to hurt him? So one, if Amber Heard was trying to hurt Johnny Depp, she would bring anything to the table that he'd ever done. She would, and if she didn't remember the details, again, if you were in that position, you'd bring all the negative stuff you could ever think of. And if you didn't know the details, you may even make negative details. Who knows? Like, if you're really trying to hurt them, or however negatively you think this is going to affect you. And so then if you're Johnny Depp, you could think the same thing. And maybe I need to just see maybe I need to go back and watch those sections of the trial. Maybe I need to take my time to review it. All the clips I almost make, like, even the people asking him questions look like fucking idiots. He's very, you know what I mean? He's down to, like, the micro movements of his mouth, like the skin around his mouth, or just the way he composes himself is absolutely. But it just makes me think, like, it's because he's one of the best actors that we've seen in our lifetime. Like, that's where it's just like, I guess everybody says that's what they can see through. They can see through Amber's acting, but I guess that was my problem. And hey, man, I'll admit it. That's not the first time I made that mistake. Oh, Jesus, I hope you can't hear that. What is that? It's probably the cell phone. Oh, I remember that. I remember I was putting, I had it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Damn it. I'm thinking about two things now, and I can't. I'm like at a fork in the road, and I want to fucking explain this path over here, but I was already on this path over here, so it's like I just need to keep going on this path. It's like I just need to keep moving forward. And now I just stand like a deer in the road with headlights on me in the night, and I don't remember which way I was headed and which way I'm going. But it will come to me. This is probably a good time. It seems like most of the time when I can't think of what to do in those situations, I'll spark up what did Bill Maher call his a clove cigarette. But come on, guy. I guess I was just saying Johnny Depp looks very charming always. Does a really good job of looking in small words, in small sentences, in few movements, will move his body and the way he talks in a way that you're just like, I really want to believe you. And that's what I wonder. Is it just that I haven't seen that part of the trial? Is it just that by coming in halfway through and not educating myself on the first half before I made my decision? Again, I guess I just thought, I don't know. I do know. I thought I was supposed to just like take myself out of it, take any other relationship or any other experience I've ever seen out of it, just look at the information that's been provided. And if you just look at the information that she provided, I think I said it last time, but he looks insecure. He looks jealous. He looks angry. He looks explosive. He looks addicted. And so I guess that's where it's just, okay, so every single bit of it is, that's where it's just like, it's weird. My heart of hearts, I guess I got to see the other part of the trial. Because my heart of hearts doesn't say that's true. Don't you think there's some granule of truth in what she's saying? I don't know. My first thought is, if you were just going to make up everything, if everything you were going to say was going to be a fucking lie, wouldn't you make up crazier shit? Because all you have to do is not say something that you can't prove, right? Like, he fucking killed people all the time. You know what I mean? You can't say that, because then they'd be like, well, where were the bodies? You know what I mean? They'd need some sort of proof of this extremely negative behavior. However, a lot of this can just go, you can just claim that it occurred. And again, most people don't seem to agree or even believe in what Amber's saying. But my thought is, wouldn't you make up worse stuff? Wouldn't you come up with things that are worse? And I mean, for all I know, I'm getting myself into a defamation trial with Johnny Depp, and I'm not trying to. My point in saying that is, I need to see the other part of it, and I'm not trying to say that to protect myself, or even like we can't imagine that'd be a possibility. But I don't think that everything she said is untrue, and that's where I say, based on the general consensus, it seems like I'm the sucker. Like, I'm the one that fell for it. And again, I mean, fucking, I would say beautiful women in general can often pull one over on me. Unfortunately, I'll just admit that. That's fine. Yep. I think I can get to a point where I'm very smart. But I mean, I don't know. Like, if I was a foreign intelligence agency and I was trying to get in on me, I would definitely send attractive women my way, and I'd be like, that's the easiest way to get under his skin. Or what else? I don't know. I guess it would really depend on the circumstances and the timing and things like that. But that is really neither here nor there. Interested to see what you guys think. I'd love to hear. Like, as an example, I was watching an interview on JRE, Joe Rogan's podcast, with his guest Gad Saad, and Gad Saad multiple times mentioned things that I was like, fuck, dude, that aligns with what I saw. I was like, that aligns with what I saw. But again, that's taking Amber Heard at her word. So that's saying that some of the things that she said are accurate. Some of the things that she said are true. And Joe was just sure to say that, based on, one, his prior knowledge of the situation, two, his friend Doug Stanhope that's very familiar with him, he was just willing to say that it's all acting, and it's all bad acting at that. But at least I know there's one other person out there. But again, I'd like to hear what you think. I'd like to hear what was your opinion of the trial. Do you believe that there's any chance that Amber was saying something that's true, or that there was a grain of truth in the things that she was using as her attack, or even that there's a possibility that you would come up with worse things if you were just making stuff up just to try to hurt somebody? Wouldn't you come up with worse stuff? Like better things like that. But again, I mean, I guess even I understand where last time I guess I mentioned, like, she almost seemed like she was trying to get under his skin a little bit. But that would only work if the things she was saying was true. So if the things she's saying aren't true, if he's not an explosive individual or somebody that gets mad at the drop of a hat, then trying to get under his skin wouldn't even work. So it's like, even my one theory, but I think it has to do with, I only saw the second half of the movie, and I hate to refer to it as a movie, but I think I said it before, that's why it's so attractive. I think that it's a fucking Leal Rife. It's a real life movie where everybody's in love with the main character of Johnny Depp in this situation, and they are all rooting for his success in the sense of winning the case. And this succubus has been, defeated. That is when the cigars will be lit and everybody will be happy. And I'm like, I got to see the other part of the story. I got to understand why. And that probably is a thing. I think I wasn't going to get into it initially. And then once I decided to, the only time I dedicated was during her testimony, which was 2 fucking days. You know what I mean? I think it was like 14 hours of footage, you know, which I often was like, fast forward. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? I can't spend all my time on this. But I do understand the draw, and I do understand the interest, and I said it before, but I just would never want my own dirty laundry aired in a way that would. But even then again, it's like I heard Joe Rogan say that, like, if Johnny was on a podcast, he would have the opportunity in the past to like clear the air. But it's like, fuck, I don't know. I think back to that thing where it's like, how many people are going through that? You know what I mean? Like, everybody goes through breakups, and a lot of people go through separations, and many people are in the middle of divorce. But it's just like, I don't know. It goes back to that thing, I guess, where you're thinking, well, if a future partner of mine was to see that negative behavior, they would think, well, I'm going to negatively speak about them as well. And then that may deter them from, say, wanting to spend any time with you. And so I guess that's the idea. I guess that's where the reluctance comes in, where you'd say like, I better be careful about what I say about that. I was trying to like, I almost feel like, no, I didn't. Okay. I'm so self-conscious about that fucking zit. And then all of a sudden I was like, is it not hidden? It doesn't matter. It is what it is. I need to stop being so goddamn fucking. My grandpa always called it, he'd call it primping when I would fucking like, do my hair and shit. And then, he would call it vanity, which I guess is pretty standard, right? That people would say, you're vain to care about things like that. I don't know. I can't not. You know what I mean? That's one of those things for me. It just has to be done. I just don't feel comfortable. I've mentioned it before, but like, I don't even like talking to people prior to like being ready, prior to like being prepared for the day. One interesting headline that I did see is that, regardless of the general consensus and the fact that the negative light appears to be shed on Amber Heard, and most folks appear to agree with Johnny Depp based on what I've seen. And again, I'd love to see or hear what you've seen by you leaving comments or sending an email to me. But a lot of what I've seen is negative towards Amber Heard and not so much Johnny Depp. However, I saw that Disney removed the Captain Jack Sparrow robot from the Pirates of the Caribbean. And do you say Caribbean or Caribbean? Caribbean? Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. I guess I say Pirates of the Caribbean, but if I was going to the place, I'd probably say I was going to the Caribbean. I don't know. You should tell me that too. Leave that in the comments as well. How do you say it? How do you enunciate? Where do you put the fucking inflection in the middle of that word? But I saw that they removed the robot, which I, as an example, went to Disneyland as a kid, and I went on that ride with my brother, my stepbrother, my mom's husband, his son, and I went on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and there was no Captain Jack Sparrow. It was very old. I was very disappointed that I waited in the line. I thought it was the worst thing ever. When I went with my son to Disney World, he wanted to wait in the line. Luckily, it was during COVID, so there wasn't a fuckload of people there. The lines were fractions of what they would normally be because their occupancy was not allowed to be that high. But he still wanted to wait in that goddamn line, and so we did, and I knew how shitty it was going to be. However, one addition that I did notice is like, oh, they've put like an actual Captain Jack Sparrow. Like, they've put new stuff from the new movie series. It's not just the old, terrible, awful robot show. They've added some new ones, but I read a headline, and unfortunately, I didn't take the time to read the article, so I haven't even fired up Google yet. But based on the headline that I read, you may be able to take it with a grain of salt or take it and run with it, that Johnny Depp's statue robot thing in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney has been removed. So that's I guess a bummer, unfortunate thing for him, even though it hasn't necessarily, you know what I mean? Because then, and I guess that's the whole deal. Because especially if she's making up shit, then you know what I mean. It's like he worked his way to be a part of those movies, and then they were successful because of great actors, not just him, of course. Like, I mean, you think of, I've only seen some of the first ones, but like Orlando Bloom and stuff is in them, which, you know, he's an amazing actor as well. So my point in saying that is it's not like he was the entire cast. There was a lot of folks in those movies that helped to carry them on, and then not to mention, of course, being Disney in general probably doesn't hurt. I'm sure it doesn't hurt to have the Disney name behind your movie and behind your funding and all those kind of things. But you know, he did deserve to be that character, and to have that character literally be a replica of him, not just some idea of the character Captain Jack. And I've heard people say it, and I agree with that. Regardless of how this goes, I don't think somebody else is going to play that character well. I feel that way about all the Marvel movies. I don't understand that. I don't understand. I've heard that they replace certain characters. I've heard that like there's going to be a new Iron Man and stuff like that, but I guess I'm a loser. I don't know what it is, but I can't. Nobody is Iron Man but Robert Downey Jr. to me. Like, it just, that is what it is, and I get it. I'm some fucking white male that's too old to give a fuck about superhero movies, and I shouldn't give a fuck. But there's so many good ones. I miss that Doctor Strange 2. My son went and saw it with his grandma, with my mom, and he loved it, so that's good. My mom even said it was a really good movie, so that's really cool. But my point in saying that is some of them are good. I saw the trailer for Spider-Man 4, dude. I'm psyched. I know I get it. It's gay. You know what I mean? Not cool to like superhero movies. You're a loser, but they're fucking good, man. They're good. Not all of them. Like, you know, I get it. They're not all fucking grand slams. Like, my son doesn't like Shang-Chi that much. He's like, it is what it is. It's a Marvel movie, but it's not a fucking home run. You know, it's not a grand slam. It's not a baseball term that expresses excitement, I guess. You know, whatever the fuck I'm trying to do here. But I just don't see how they could ever replace Iron Man as anybody else, but RDJ, as folks say on the internet. But Robert Downey Jr., he's the man. He's it, dude. I cried when he died, dude. I cried. You know what I mean? Like, I cried when fucking M.A. died. I'm a loser. I don't know what it is. They got me wrapped up in those characters. It's interesting that I say that, because I almost don't remember why. I was going to try to trace it back, and I could probably figure it out, but I think I really think more than anything that's why nobody believes Amber. I think it's the exact same thing. I think they're so wrapped up in the character of Johnny Depp. It's weird to say, but I think that they find a way to be so attached to this man that we've seen mesmerize us on the screen time after time over decades. How could you not have some sort of connection to that? And, you know, Amber, not so much, you know, like, my son pretends he hasn't even seen Aquaman. He owns Aquaman. He has Aquaman on his shelf. We bought it years ago. We've watched it. It's been playing in the room so many times. And now all of a sudden he's like, I've never even seen it. Never seen Aquaman. It's like, I swear, I'm like, who do you talk to? Who is influencing you that knows about this trial, that's like telling you to distance yourself from Aquaman? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, it has been playing in the house so many times that both of us have been here. Whatever, bro. But yeah, I do think it's unfortunate. Yeah. Oh, that's all I was saying. I was just saying, you know, what I was going to say just now is that it's unfortunate that his statue is getting removed, especially if none of this is true. And she's just trying to make this up to ruin his world and some of the accomplishments that he's had that could be literally enshrined in very popular attractions. You know what I mean? That's not fair. That's not fair at all, and that sucks. So that does suck. And then again, I was just that was where I got on the Marvel kick, is like, nobody else is Captain Jack Sparrow, you know what I mean? That's Johnny Depp. Like, I'm not taking that from him either, and I don't think anybody should or could. Whoever plays it is gonna embarrass themselves. Like, apparently everybody's saying Amber Heard has, and I don't mean to keep flying back and forth between fictional and non-fictional, though I think that the interest and the attraction for folks in the entertainment sense, I can't draw a very good line aside from the fact that one is, I was going to say aside from the fact that one is rehearsed and the other's not, but I think that probably even these instances that we see in court are rehearsed. And, again, I keep hearing people say not so much, but maybe that's it. Maybe I don't have enough Amber Heard to compare to. Maybe I don't have any fucking way to compare it to her previous court appearances. Like, what? How do you just know she's lying? That's what I don't understand. Like no matter what, don't we have to just you have to look at both sides, which I've clearly not done and I need to do. You have to look at both sides and then make your opinion. But how do you just know that hers is false no matter what? That's the thing I don't understand. Like, what are you comparing her actions and her acting to? And how do you know that? And again, I'll just say, okay, I'm a big sucker. I get it. I'm a big sucker. Yeah. I can't think of anything wise to say. I just, like I said before, I see why I've gotten myself into those situations in the past. But it's another thing that I think is slightly interesting is that if there was a powerful group of folks, right? Sometimes it's referred to as the deep state, right? And I was like, don't say deep state. Don't say it. There's probably some buzzword algorithm fucking blocker where if I say that, I end up in some fucking category on one side of the political aisle, and it's going to make me look in a negative way. But just say that doesn't exist. But say that you believe that, okay, when Donald Trump was in office, and when he was in action, but the proper and smarter term is in office. I was going to say action. I guess if I decided to bust out of the word action halfway through, I even could have said in administration and try to make it work. But during his administration, if say he, in his lack of experience, wasn't able to have proper knowledge, or even just as a human, not able to possibly cover or put his arms around every single aspect of what it takes to lead this country. And now Joe Biden is not in any way mentally capable of putting his arms around or keeping up with or accomplishing every single task that it would take to run this country. So let's just say, regardless of which side of the political aisle you fall on, regardless of what you've seen over the last, I was going to say 8 years, but it's not quite 8 years. It'll be 8 years when Biden's done. But if you compare both of them, maybe both of them haven't had quite the influence that you would like to think as the president. And let's say that there's somebody else pulling the strings, even if we don't call them anything it seems if their goal, or if anybody's goal, maybe it's not leaders, maybe it's not lawmakers, maybe it's not anybody behind the strings pulling the scenes. If their goal was to keep us fighting, doesn't it seem like if anybody's goal was to do that they're doing a really fucking good job? If anybody's goal was to try to make us at each other's throats and arguing about certain things, doesn't it seem like if that was your goal that you've accomplished so well, and that almost everybody is participating almost mindlessly, almost whether they like it or not? Initially, right, it's like the pandemic, right? So you have people fighting about their opinions on masks and their opinions on vaccinations and their opinions on businesses closing and opening and their opinions on all these things. Then after that gets boring enough, Putin started by invading Ukraine, a war. And then it's like, after that story gets boring after a little while, then they leak this document about Roe v. Wade. And then it's sure enough, it's like, that's going to get everybody bored, or not everybody feels like they have, that's going to come into play in their life. And then like they execute somebody in Arizona. And it's like, then we have people arguing about the death penalty. It's like, wouldn't it seem like if there was somebody trying to get us to be at each other's throats, that just as soon as one conflict or some event that we're arguing about is over or dying down, another fire is started? I'll be right back. Hello, my friends. I am back. I was curious, as fans of podcasts, did you by any chance hear about the dispute in Podcastville? As an example, I was listening to the Tim Dillon Show by Tim Dillon, and he mentioned that there was a feud between possibly Annie Letterman, Kalila, I don't know what Kalila's last name is, Kalila, and Brendan Schaub. So then I watched a 40-minute video on H3H3, which I believe is a podcast. I've never watched it, but I'm very aware of Ethan and Hila. Is it Hila or Hila? I think it's Hila. It's Hila. And I think it's Hila. I'm very familiar with her because she's done like Your Mom's House podcast with Tom Segura and Christina Pazitsky. And I guess that's the place I've seen it. People talk about them. I mean, people talk about their brand, Teddy Fresh. I've heard about them many times. So then I watched their clip where they had Bobby Lee and Kalila, who are also on Tiger Belly. Bobby Lee and Kalila do Tiger Belly podcast. They were on H3H3, and they mentioned basically an episode where apparently Bobby and Kalila had been in an open relationship for a number of years. I'm not sure if they're being forthcoming in the H3H3 clip about the timing of the incident. It almost seems like maybe some of the timings that they're giving, and I hate to say that because it's like, well, then why would you believe anything that they're saying? And that's the trouble thing, is like Bobby almost seems like he's on the spot, and he even mentions to Kalila, like, we're ruined, like we're fucked. You know what I mean? Like, we're completely fucked. So it's like, it's clear they want to get in front of it, but maybe because of that also, they haven't worked out their story entirely. And I don't mean to be negative or shitty. I'm just speculating, so I don't have all the information. But my point in saying that is, it doesn't necessarily seem like they've nailed down the timeline 100% in the H3H3 clip. And then I started to watch a clip where Tiger Belly, Bobby Lee, and Kalila have Brendan Schaub on their podcast, and they're about to talk about it. Unfortunately, they haven't got to it yet, and I haven't finished that part of the podcast. But the idea is that I think they're going to explain it. My biggest thing about all that is, imagine how many podcasts I just mentioned. Just to describe this, I mean, I've spent, couldn't just 100% less than 5 minutes. Guaranteed less than 5 minutes, no matter how long it took me to describe all that, right? So in just less than 5 minutes time, I've mentioned 5 podcasts, right? It reminds me of the 90s where Eminem and 50 Cent or fucking any other rapper dispute that was going on, Biggie Smalls and Tupac, they died. So maybe the dispute was a little more than some false thing to create drama, to create attention. But it sure seems like some of the drama in the rap in the 90s was false in order to get us to pay attention to them and to buy their albums and to listen to their songs. And I just would not, I think there's something to, and Kanye, Nipsey Hussle, so many people have represented this really well, but I think there's something to creating drama to keep attention. There's something to keeping your audience. Like, it feels like TV shows did that for years, right? Like, TV shows for the longest time, when that is what we were doing, to keep us coming back after the commercial break, they would create some sort of drama. Even when the reality show series, like Boom started to happen, so to speak, they still would create drama almost seemingly fake sometimes. Maybe it was always real and I'm just a skeptical individual that didn't believe it every time, or maybe it wasn't being depicted properly in a way that I could believe it every time. But I just think that the TV shows were even trying to create drama back in the past. So I hope that they get it all figured out. What I really got from it, and again, I don't know anything, and maybe they describe it, it seemed more than anything like they were saying Brendan hit on Kalila and Brendan hit on Annie, and maybe Annie was making fun of him for it a little bit, and then maybe apparently Brendan said, like, come get your girl to Bobby Lee, basically. And apparently him and Brian Callen said some things over the phone to Bobby Lee that might not have been so nice. And so, I mean, even just the part that they admitted on the podcast by Bobby Lee and Kalila, where they admit, like, hey, we've had an open relationship, then can't you expect in some ways that some guys are going to be hitting on your woman? Not to mention, they weren't really giving up. Like, I guess Bobby Lee was constantly talking about how, you know, he wasn't expressing interest in her. You could tell by watching Tiger Belly that, like, Kalila wasn't always getting the amount of attention that she should. Yeah, I know it's terrible to say it. It has, like, nothing to do with anything, but I've had fucking dreams about Kalila, man. I've had terrible dreams about Kalila. I don't know what it is. I remember one Saturday I woke up and I, like, I don't know, I put a bunch of hearts on one of her Instagram posts, just because I was like, I had a dream about her that day. Maybe it was when this was going on. I think it was before, to tell you the truth. I'm really bad about that. Yeah, it's interesting. That's kind of the whole concept of a cougar, right? That's an older woman. I'm not saying that I'm a cougar. I'm not going to become a cross-dresser or anything like that. I say swallow hard. That's a dumb thing to say, but yep. Just gonna sit in that one for a minute. Just really enjoy the fact that I said something so stupid. Oh well. Yeah, it is what it is. No, I was just saying the idea that, like, it seems like the concept is supposed to be that they attack, right? That they, like, would literally maybe prey upon in a predatory way. Well, you can't use predatory, huh? Because predator is, like, a bad thing when it comes to, yeah, like, sexual predator is a negative thing. So in that context, you can't use predatory. But for sure, the word cougar in general, right, is supposed to be, and that's where I was like, it can't be like that. Like, you know, you can't call it a cougar when it's a man, and I'm like a younger man, so I don't think I would qualify for that anyway. But it's like, my point in saying that is I have this weird thing where, like, I think it's just being an asshole. I think that's it. Must be it. I can't come up with a good explanation. If you were a guy and it was your relationship, you would certainly think I was an asshole. But it almost seems like if I have any sense that maybe your relationship is not going so well and there's a chance that you and your girlfriend are fighting in some way or another, I might start being a little extra sweet to your girlfriend. I know that's so terrible. And it's like, if you were a guy, you'd want to just punch me right in the face. But I guess I used to tell guys when they would, like, confront me about it, I used to be like, well, maybe that's incentive to be nicer to your girlfriend. You know what I mean? You're not being that nice. But I think sometimes, I guess, too, you can't be, I guess those are the type of girls that you don't end up hanging on to anyway. I was going to say sometimes you can't be too nice because then you get walked on, but then that's those relationships that don't really last that long, right? That's those relationships that seem to come crumbling down for some reason or another. And I guess that's probably it, because you can't just both set aside your shit and just, you know, be caring about each other. You have to be playing some dumb game, which I think you're not playing and then you get railroaded if you're not expecting it, or you're both playing and nobody wins, or you play and the other person's not playing and you realize, like, man, that could have went a lot better. But that's a good example right there of somebody that's not living in the moment, huh? It sure is easy to live either in the future or in the past, huh? It sure is easy to be focused on something that happened previously in your life, maybe as if you think there's something to learn from, or to be focused on something that's going to happen in the future, I guess, is if you keep it in your mind, maybe it will be more likely to happen. But it does rob you, unfortunately, of this moment that you have here. It's funny, I've talked about it before, but I always feel like when I actually figure it out, when I actually find a way to be real present, it's like I come out of a tunnel. It's the weirdest thing. I've described it before, and I almost regretted talking about it because it felt so weird. But then as it's happened more times, I think the weirdest part that I feel weird about the way I've described is, and I don't even remember exactly how I described it before, but the way I think about it is like, it feels like on a constant basis, I'm just in a tunnel, looking through a tunnel. And so, on the end of a tunnel, there's always like that little edge of light. There's always that little bit of light. You can see the end and you kind of see the world. And then it feels like I'm right above that in some way or another, narrating, not always about exactly what's happening. Again, maybe about something in the past, maybe about something in the future, but then I'm up there narrating. And then all of a sudden you get this wide view. Sometimes I say wide view, and it's like, I guess if you weren't a camera person or whatever, you wouldn't necessarily know. But the idea is it just opens up. Like everything just opens up, and it's almost like you can see everything. You're not looking in a tunnel anymore. You're looking at everything that you're all the way to your peripheral vision can see, and everything you can take in. And then you almost realize that some of these things that you're seeing with your vision, you can also feel. So like some of the things even that I can't see with my vision, I can feel. So like, if I wasn't looking down like that, I can feel my toes. And when I don't have headphones on, or even with my headphones on, I can hear things coming in from the sides. And so it almost seems like all of that comes together in this one experience. And the one thing that I kept talking about before is how like, then thoughts just keep rushing in. Like it's so rare that I can just hold this area where I'm in this wide angle, and I just almost feel like oneness in some way or another. And I think, again, I think that part's not so wrong. I think that actually is what it's supposed to be when it happens. But I was really concerned, like, thoughts just keep happening. They just keep fucking occurring. But I heard somebody say at one time or another, being able to recognize thoughts as they come and for what they are. There's something to that. So it's almost like maybe, it's like when people say baby steps, which I hate that term because it gets overused and people use it all the time. But like, it's like it's almost like, don't be disappointed in yourself that you can't stop thinking. Almost actually recognizing that you are thinking is a step, which is cool to think. No idea how I got on that, but I'd love to hear back on the original point, and I'm not going to try to trace back to how I got there, but I'd love to hear if you guys had heard about the feud in Podcastville. I say Podcastville because Theo Vaughn on his podcast this past weekend had a Simpsons-esque photo that was drawn out of many of the people that are in podcasts together, and it was called or labeled Podcastville. And so that's the only reason I mention it that way. But it seemed like this feud, if you watch a lot of podcasts, which obviously you watch some, is very prevalent. And so I was curious, 1, have you heard about it? 2, what did you believe about it? And 3, where do you sit with it now? Because again, I guess my thought is like, I don't know, man. I hate to say it. I do know. It's just bad. Like, when Brian and Chris got in trouble, I thought Brendan was going to get in trouble. I'm going to be honest. So am I super surprised to hear that he would hit on Annie or hit on Kalila? No. Fucking no. They're both very attractive women. Sometimes he does multiple podcasts a day, and he often has a glass of whiskey. I don't know if you've ever been a couple glasses of whiskey deep and seen somebody that's even slightly attractive, but something happens where maybe you have some sort of, there's some fire there that may not always be there if your right mind is sitting there with you. So it's like, I guess, and I'm not excusing what he did, and at this point, again, I don't even know what he did, but am I surprised? No. And even again, unfortunately, it's something I recognize in myself. I'm guilty of doing that same thing, where if like I think two people are fighting, I'm going to be nicer to your girlfriend, because I'm like, I'm an asshole. That's the only way I can think to describe it. I don't mean to do that. People claim that as like they're like if you come to like, I don't know what that Sir Mix-a-Lot fucking song. He's like, you toss it and leave it, and I pull up quick to retrieve it. Like I'm not, it's like I guess that's the quickest way to describe what I'm saying. But it's like I guess there may always be that opportunity where you could, I don't know. I guess I do know if people are fighting, they may separate eventually, and so it almost seems like, maybe put in some some positive interactions here and there. It's probably not going to hurt your future. That's all I think. But my point in saying that is, I guess I'm not too upset with the whole thing. To hear even Annie making fun of him about it, I think she even mentioned it on Whitney's podcast. Good for you. And again, this is what I'm saying. That's where I barely even believe the whole thing. I mentioned 65 podcasts in a few minutes. It's like, just like when fucking, 50 Cent and Eminem were fighting, everybody was paying attention to 50 Cent and Eminem. When people are fucking listening to Tupac and Biggie Smalls as they're fighting, it's like, still talk about that to this day. Fortunately, I think dying kind of, there's that song where it's like, the person on the other end of the gun lives forever, right? Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's not that Tupac and Biggie Smalls weren't talented, and I'm sure that they would have remained in the rap. I always want to use the word zeitgeist. I need to like put that in the fucking thesaurus. See what other, the rap culture. Culture is probably the right word. But anyway, curious to hear if you guys heard about the fiasco, the feud, and what opinion you'd made upon it, and if it matters. I don't know if it does. I'm interested in it because I know all these characters, because I follow all their podcasts, because I pay attention to all of them. But my thought is just like, if you are able to get a lot more views on your videos, you may get a lot more traction, which may result in higher ticket sales. Higher ticket sales may result in higher money. It's all good for everybody. You know what I mean? The one thing that you could say that maybe it doesn't go with is kind of the whole culture of podcasting up to this point is always what helps you helps me. So for instance, if Bobby and Kalila have Brendan on, it helps them because they get views on their podcast, but it also makes people aware of Brendan's podcast. So then they hear about his. So then you could say it doesn't really follow that whole what helps you helps me, because if, say, people were to pick sides, it really goes against entirely the podcast culture that had been established up to this point. Because if you were like, well, now I'm only a Brendan fan, or I'm only a Bobby and Kalila fan, well, then you're missing out on some of these people that are obviously podcast fans and are obviously paying attention to these things. And so it's like, that would be the one thing where you could say, maybe it goes against that, but also don't people pay attention? Like, I don't, I'll be honest, I don't. So it may be not something people do, but sometimes don't people watch shit that they hate? Like, isn't there people that do that? Like, what do they call that thing? Hate liking. They say people hate like stuff on Instagram, like where they're so mad about it, but they like it anyway, because otherwise they look like they're an asshole. Right. I don't know. Maybe that's not a thing. You should tell me if that's a thing. Do people hate watch stuff? Because, like, right, if, like, some people, I feel like if you hate somebody so much, unfortunately, you still watch their stuff. I don't know. That's what they say. Like, for instance, Crystalia, I think, says haters are fans too, because they have to watch your shit to find out what they hate about you. So it's like, then you could say even what they're doing by creating a feud, if it is fake, is still attracting, whether people pick a side or not, it's still attracting views on both podcasts. Because even if you pick a side and you say, hey, I'm only Bobby, then maybe you're going to go to Brendan's podcast to find out what you hate about Brendan. Or if you say, I'm only Brendan, maybe you're going to go watch Tiger Belly and find out, well, this is what I hate about Bobby. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's fake? Also, what about, did you guys see Dave Chappelle got basically somebody tried to tackle him at the Hollywood Bowl? My whole thing is, I don't think comedians should have to worry about that shit. I don't think that a comedian, people often use Joe Rogan as an example just because he does have the largest podcast in the world and because he is he's one of the most recognizable names right now in today's culture. He's been doing the game of comedy, I think, as long as I've been alive. I think he started I was born in 1989. I think he started in 1989. You know what I mean? So as long as I've been breathing air, he's been doing comedy. So in that time, he's became very experienced and gotten very good. And so, God damn it, now I can't remember why the fuck I'm talking about him. Because it doesn't have anything to do with him. Why am I talking about that? Oh, yeah. So I was going to say, but so somebody like him, one, if you tried to approach a stage on Joe Rogan, if he kicks you, he's going to fucking destroy you. If he even gets the chance to lay hands on you, he could put you in a fucking, I don't know anything about jiu-jitsu, but based on hearing him talk about it for years, I shouldn't say anything. I was going to say, put you in an arm bar, put you in a triangle, put you, all these terms I hear them say. But my point in saying is, if he let you get close enough for him to get his hands on you and take you to the ground, he's going to fucking destroy you. He's going to get you to a point where you would want to tap, if he wants to be so merciful. Otherwise, he's not going to let you get close, and he's going to kick you in a way that's going to destroy your body so forcefully that you are not going to be able to enjoy life in the same fashion that you have up to this event. But 3, and I don't know if I said 1 or 2, but that's a couple points. So 3C, he has security. So he possibly, don't know if he brings it to the clubs, but if he wanted to, he could have his own security that would protect him in these situations. Not everybody has that. I understand Dave Chappelle is considered the GOAT of comedy. He's considered the greatest of all time in comedy right now in our age. And I understand why. I respect him very, very greatly. I don't know if even he thought to say bring his, my point in saying that is he's capable of keeping a security team. He may have a security team. He may have had bodyguards and security there, but maybe he puts some, it doesn't matter what they do, I guess. My point in saying that is not everybody that's in that profession has the opportunity that, say, a Dave Chappelle or a Joe Rogan would to keep their own security now that we're aware that this is going to be a situation. After Will Smith did what he did to Chris Rock, and now this guy jumps up on stage while Dave Chappelle is at the Hollywood Bowl, now we realize this is an issue where people are going to be possibly trying to rush the stage. So there's certain people that could bring their own security and could get their own security to watch them while they're up there. However, there's a lot of comedians don't have that ability. They don't have the means or resources to carry a security team around with them. And so, in my opinion, I think it falls on the club. I understand that either 1, you don't have that position at all, or 2, you have somebody in a security type role, but they're not allocated to that area. Maybe they're at the door. Maybe they're, you know what I mean? I shouldn't say probably. If you have a security person at your club, they may have other responsibilities in their role that wouldn't allow them to just watch the stage and be ready for somebody to rush on stage. I just heard something. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my son. So if they don't have somebody in that role already, I think they need to relocate them to that role, unfortunately. Because again, I don't think the performer has that resource every time. And not to mention, isn't the main responsibility of the performer to focus on their act and to give their act in the best absolute way they can? And I don't think that you're going to be able to give your act 100% if you're looking out your peripheral vision the entire time and you're looking from side to side, waiting to see if somebody's going to run the stage. So, I guess, my only other thought is some sort of, communism style deal where all of the comedians say just but then it's how does it get allocated and how does it get dispersed? And then you'd have to have a committee, somebody, my thought was everybody could put into some pool and I'm just literally spitballing here, and then that pool of money would be able to be allocated to the clubs for extra security. But then again, somebody has to monitor that, and so then that's a full-time job of somebody fucking transferring funds and somebody monitoring that and keeping that done. So it's like, it should just fall on the clubs. Unfortunately, it has to, unless, I guess, I don't know how it works when you rent out an arena, if you have to bring your own security or hire your own security or hire one of their securities or whatever. But I just think no matter what, the security should be provided by the venue, and somebody should be able to stand at the side of the stage and just be ready for people to run the stage at this point, because now it's happening. It's happening, unfortunately. It happened to Chris Rock, who was, when I was growing up, man, Chris Rock, if you asked me what comedian I liked, and if you asked me one of the ways I ever got into comedy or whatever made me like comedy in the first place, Chris Rock would be in the conversation. George Carlin, Chris Rock, who else was big when I was a kid? I mean, Jim Carrey was like an inspiration of mine, but not in that same way, not in a stand-up type way. Chris Rock and George Carlin in more of a stand-up type way, and then Jim Carrey, I guess, more of an acting type way. Like when I saw him in Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, I was like, unfortunately, I acted like that guy for years. I thought I was going to be that guy, maybe even with the way my hair is styled a little bit now. Maybe even I tried to adopt anything I could pick up. Hopefully not. Hopefully that's a different style. I had somebody make fun of me. They're like, man, I think the faux hawk went in a style a long time ago. And I was like, doesn't it seem like we all just kind of pick our own, favorite look or generation and then kind of stick with it for a period of time? Not everybody, I guess. Damn it, I don't know why I got it. Oh yeah. So I mean, I'd be interested to hear what you guys hear what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that like people that come to the arena, people that come to the club, people that come to the venue that's providing the entertainment, they should bring their own security and they should be responsible for that, when a lot of times they're already paying for their own flights, they're already paying for their own hotels? Maybe not. Maybe the venue is going to pay for their hotel. Maybe the venue is going to give them a place to stay. Maybe the venue is going to give them a ride to the place, but they have travel expenses no matter what. No matter what, these entertainers have some sort of expenses on a consistent basis, even just to maintain some sort of, like, if you were going to put on a show like that, just any normal human, you would want to be in your best condition possible. These guys have to do it in the least comfortable conditions possible. You know what I mean? Like they're not at their home. They're not in their bed. They're not next to their family. They're not eating the food that they have in their fridge. They're in the least possible comfortable conditions. Like, you know what I mean? Should they really be bringing the security? Like I think they're somehow able, despite all those things that I just mentioned, to put themselves in a state that they can put on the best show possible, entertain you, bring you in, keep you coming to buy the food of the venue, buy the drinks of the venue, do all the things that makes everybody win in the economy of entertainment. And I just think that it's not fair to ask them to focus on anything but their act. I think that and that's, I'd be curious to see what you guys think in the comments. Do you think it falls on the venue? Do you think it falls on the entertainer? Do you think there should be some sort of committee that's created? I mean, what needs to be done? Something needs to be done. It's not fair. It's not fair to take away, ruin, or even, I was going to use the word subjugate. I don't even know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Wouldn't it be funny if it applied? Wouldn't it be funny if it actually applied in this situation? But it shouldn't even like make the entertainer uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It shouldn't even be something that they have to think about at all, which now after 2 events, you'd be dumb to not put yourself in those shoes. Like, as if you were an entertainer and you were going up on stage and you've seen 2 of the, again, Chris Rock may not be considered one of the greats now, but he was certainly one of the greats long ago, and he's certainly still in the conversation. And Dave Chappelle is considered the greatest at this point. So it's like, if it can happen to them, you would think it could happen to anybody. And so if you haven't empathetically put yourself in those shoes and said that could happen to me as an entertainer and not me, whoever, then I guess you're just not looking at it. But I don't think it's fair to ask them to take care of it. I think we will chat about something else as soon as I come back, but I want to know what you think. All right, I'll be right back. I'm back. The other day, after my son called me a simp, he told me that something I said was sus. truthfully, in my heart, I don't even know what that means. My first thought is suspect. I'm like, does it mean suspect, or is it suspicious, or like I'm suspicious about what you're saying? I'm guessing it means suspect, right? I just can't believe I'm already there. I'm already at the point where my son's saying words that I barely understand, and in a language that I'm not going to speak. I just would sound stupid. You could come, I think, with quite a bit of confidence, and I think you'd still sound pretty stupid. I don't know. I might use like, oh, dude. I thought about picking like fucking beans out of my teeth, because I just had like some black beans. But this mic smells like fucking tuna. I didn't have any tuna today because I was like, what if it makes your fucking mic smell? And it totally did. I remember one other day I did it, and now I have like tuna mic. It's great. It just smells like tuna all the time now. It's fantastic. But I'm guessing suspect, right? Yep. So apparently I'm a simp, and apparently I'm sus. I don't even remember what I said. I think I was talking about like shitting or something. Like something that totally happened. Something that for sure happened. And maybe I shouldn't have been sharing with him, but for sure occurred. And I was just trying to say, hey man, this happened. And he was like, sounds sus. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I have nothing to gain. I think the one thing I do that I realize does not help me with any gains is withholding things from him. Like, goddamn, sometimes he'll be talking to his mother over the phone, and he'll say something about me, and she'll say something about me, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're really gonna say that about me to him? I'm like, if that's what you say over the phone, what do you say when he's there? He says things, but I'd like to think that he's making them up because they're so bad. But I'm like, I don't see how that helps. I don't see it because, I don't know, Eminem, right? Remember in his, what was it, like the fucking, was it the Marshall Mathers LP? And he was like, my whole life I was made to believe I was sick, but I wasn't till I grew up. Now I blew up. It makes you sick to your stomach, doesn't it? My point is, we can put any ideas that we want into our kids' heads, but someday he's gonna wake up, and so I don't think that's the best idea. So I don't say things, but those things that I don't say, he notices anyway. You know what I mean? Like, he's a smart kid. You don't have to put things in front of, like. That's my whole deal. Is I guess I just like, one, I don't want to tell him things that one day he either sees aren't true, or he finds out I had some agenda. And two, I think that he's capable of seeing things that are right or wrong on his own. I don't think he needs me. Beans in my teeth. I just put this out on YouTube, so I can't imagine anybody ever just listens. I sometimes will put a YouTube podcast or something on and then not watch the video, but I assume everybody always, so that's why I guess I say dumb things like that. Because if you were just listening and you're like, why does he keep talking about beans in his teeth? Who gives a fuck? And I guess it's because I keep shoving my fucking teeth in my face. What else was I gonna? Yeah. So tell me, did I get that right? It's suspect, right? It's gotta be suspect. But even still, I don't think it was fucking what I said was suspect. One morning, my son and I were laying in bed. I think it was like maybe a week ago or something like that. It was sometime recently here, and like it was early enough that I was looking at my phone. Point being, for some reason I had enough time where I could sit there and lay on my phone, and I didn't need to like get up and start my day. And I saw this story about a yellow brick road underwater, and it was really, really fascinating. I had trouble watching the whole thing because it was like, first they were just like breaking rocks apart, and that's not the most super exciting thing. And then like even after they found it, they quickly were like, all right, let's go on to something else, where I would be like, let's fucking follow this thing until we can, until it ends. Like, I want to know what happens here. But apparently they just said that, like, I don't know if you've seen it to me, it looks like a goddamn stone path underwater that got covered up by something. They said that apparently that just happens. I'm not smart enough, so I can't just remember what it was, but I saved it. What the team had actually seen later was identified as a hyaloclastite. Hyaloclastite, a volcanic rock formed in high-energy eruptions where many rock fragments settle into the seabed. They explained why the unique 90-degree fractures that made it look like stone laid for a road are likely the result of heating and cooling stress from multiple eruptions. So yeah, basically there was an exploration vessel called the Nautilus, and below the seafloor, 3,376 feet below the surface, it found a yellow brick road, which, it said they spotted a wild ocean floor feature that looked like a yellow brick road. And it looks a hell of a lot like a stone path to me. But even their lack of interest expressed that they had some sort of knowledge that apparently you weren't supposed to follow it. But curious if you guys saw that. If not, check it out. I guess you already have the spoiler, so you know it's not cool. When I was looking at it, I was looking at like, that's a fucking place that got covered up. Like, that's a place that when these fucking floods, that people like, I'm not saying that what happened in the Bible was true, but it seems like a lot of the religions that you look at, consistently amongst a lot of them, there's the great story of the flood. And so it's like, for instance, in the Christian religion, that would be the idea of Noah. But even in our scientific history, we have some proof that there was great floods, right? And so it's like, and now I'm like, why the fuck did I mention that? Oh, my thought was like, it was one of these places that existed before the fucking flood, like before the water rose, like before everything changed. And that got so exciting. I thought that was so fucking cool. And then apparently they just said it's nothing, which I'm so skeptical. I'm like, fucking, that's sus. That sounds sus to me. Hopefully I use that right. I don't know if I use that right or not, but when I hear that, I'm like, that's sus. They should be way more interested in that. That would be the new thing. That's what I would be following. But I guess, I don't know. It's some area around, I want to say they said it was like around Hawaii or something like that. So it's like, all volcano down there, basically. I don't know. Pretty cool. Didn't know if you guys saw it. Look it up. Yellow Brick Road. The one guy they called it a Yellow Brick Road to Atlantis, I think. So many people will so quickly dismiss the idea of Atlantis, and then others will be like, they want to fucking try to identify where the area, what was it, like Aristotle or whoever it was, I don't remember who it was, Plato, I don't know who the fuck it was, whoever it was that wrote about or depicted Atlantis, they want to like try to identify the area. Like, it's just so weird. Like, some people are just so quick to be like, no, it never existed ever, and then others are like fast enough to be like, want to find out the place, try to what are these places that he's describing, what does that match in our current landscape or even in the landscape of his time. And I'd love to think that it really existed. I don't know what to think. I mean, it seems like all the things that are too good to be true are often too good. They're not true. They are too good to be true. That's what, more than anything, it seems like what my experience has taught me. But other than that, it sounds really fucking cool. I mean, even Rome sounds really cool, though. The way that people describe fucking Rome back in the day, which I think is, you'd like to think, fairly true. That place sounds fucking amazing, right? I mean, you'd almost think if that was a time to go back to, but you'd be fucked, right? I mean, the likelihood that you wouldn't end up in some sort of, below the fucking Colosseum, ready to fight some lion or something like that. I don't think I'd want to roll the dice on that one. I don't know if I'd want to find out. I don't know why the fuck I started talking about that. But anyway, guys, I have other things that I guess I've thought about, but my thought is I could put more, like, I had this idea where what if I started a new gig, and I just hang out with like wives, right? For like, you can rent me out for like, well, you don't get to rent me out, your wife gets to rent me out. Where like for, I just basically, hey man, you could always give us a call. Oh, but they don't allow phones on the golf course. Gotcha. Sorry. So I guess, I'll just be with her for like 5 hours, but you have to warm up beforehand. Ugh. Oh, and you're going to have a drink with the guys afterwards? Nah, that's okay. I'll hang out with your wife for 7 fucking hours. You know what I mean? Like, my whole thought is just like, I don't understand how you could possibly fit that into your life and then also think that you were going to have any sort of relationship with anything aside from your work or whatever it is that helps you fund that fucking hobby. Like, how could you, you know what I mean? Because like just to fund the hobby, you have to have some sort of income, right? Just to pay and cover the expenses of the hobby, you have to have some sort of income, which you would think you have to trade some of your something. You have to trade something for that, you know? So it's like, you'd like to think that that takes a portion of your time, if it's not exactly time that you trade for that income. But then you know, like whatever else you have in your life, like if you do have a spouse, perhaps, or you know, say you don't have a spouse anymore, maybe you did at one time, and you have a child, or you have a family of all of them. You have, you know what I mean? You have a kids and a husband or wife. How can you possibly add a hobby where playing it one time is 7 hours of your time? Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, I think it's crazy to try to fit this into my schedule, and this is an hour and a half, you know? Like, this is nothing. It's so crazy to think, like, you know, but it makes me think, oh, you know what the nice thing about this is? It's really sad, but it ties back to what I said earlier. I think that's either my computer or my router. God damn it. There's just a constant chugging in here. There's like, it's like I need to find machinery that's like ultra silent or put it somewhere goddamn else, you know? It's like there's just like a constant chugging. Maybe you can't hear it. Maybe it's just in my fucking earphones. But I'd like to think you can hear it as well. Yeah, so that would just go back to actually something I said earlier, which I felt like I was just fucking, yeah. I have this odd predatory sense, which I shouldn't, and I try not to act on because it makes me feel like I'm being a bad person. But my predatory nature tells me, oh shit, I forgot you can't use that. So, and we decided that on this podcast. So if you fast forwarded, you missed it, but we decided in any sense where sexuality is mentioned, you can't use the term predator because sexual predator is already taken and it means a really bad thing. So you can't use that one. So it's not predatory, but it's maybe opportunistic. Is it opportunistic? Would that be fair to say? You're acknowledging, or I personally feel like I can see in situations where there may be a disconnect. And doesn't it seem like if you have, like, what's your wife do? Like, does she just hate you? Like, if you're spending 7 hours away, what does she do for that time? You know what I mean? Like, she's cleaning your house and taking care of your kids, or like, you know what I mean? Like, don't you think she could easily be pretty occupied as well? Like, or just, you know, your kids? Like, I don't know. It's like you would be developing your own entire life, like a life that doesn't. I was gonna think like fucking candy cane, a life that doesn't, you know what I mean? You know how candy cane, like, or the red and the white are all spun together, up together. Like if you're not, say, spending 7 hours a day or 7 hours a week or however often you dedicate to play this game or this hobby, you would have more of an opportunity to intertwine with the other person's life, whether it be your child or your spouse's. And that in my brain comes across as like, you know, if you were running away from each other, the red line would be going one way and the white line would be going the other way. But if you have time to, like, you know, get together, you'd be like a candy cane and your red and white lines would be all twirled together. That's how it comes together in my brain. I hope it comes together the same way in your brain. But yeah, I don't think you can. How can you do both? How could you possibly do both? And that's where I see there may be somebody that's looking for some connection, somebody that's, or they have their own thing, or, you know what I mean? If you do something that, to be good at it, you have to do it like once a week. And that's minimum. Most people that are good at it do it multiple times a week. So if you could be talking about multiple 5 to 7 hour trips a week. You know what I mean? Like, somebody could, like, have a part-time job in that amount of time, or a part part-time relationship, you know? They can have a part-time fucking family. They can have a part-time hobby that's maybe not helpful in your deal. Yeah, so that was my whole thought. I'll let ladies just rent me out. Older ladies, they're fucking, you know, they're tired of their husband spending 7 hours a day at the golf course. But like I said, he can call at any time. But oh fuck, man, it's rude to use your phone at the golf course. Darn it, can't do that. Don't worry, you can check on us in 7 hours. I'm sure everything will be fine. I'm sure when you leave and come back out, you know what I mean, you'll be able to trust us the whole time. Don't worry about it. Wouldn't that work? If you found somebody that like would make your husband mad that you're spending time with him as a woman, wouldn't that work? Wouldn't they be like, I might, you know what I mean? Maybe not. Maybe they just start golfing more. Maybe it would just, you'd get divorced. Yeah, no, it's all good. Yep, but that's gonna be my new gig. I'm gonna start letting ladies hire me for 7 hours at a time, 5 to 7 hours at a time. 9 or 18 holes. While your husband's out, I'll hang out with you. We'll chill out, fucking drink wine. We'll chat it up, dude. Smoke some J's. Be a good time. But you guys leave comments about what you think. I want to know what you think about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. I want to know what you think. You may have fucking blasted me up last time. Unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to... I guess the truth is that episode is not edited yet, so I don't fully remember what I said, so I don't know how you could have possibly responded. And so that one's not out yet in my brains. It's obviously out already when you see this. So you're in a different, I was going to say scenario or situation, and it came out with But, yeah. I'm interested to see what you guys think about the whole deal. Do you think Amber Heard is just a total liar? She's trying to ruin his life, and that he is just a saint, and that he's done nothing wrong? Or did you see some glimpse of truth or grain of truth in what she said, and think that maybe there's some salt, you know, something in there that some grain that has some truth to it? I feel like maybe I'm just stupid, but my homework is going to be to watch the beginning of the trial, so I'm going to go back and see all the things that I missed, and then maybe when I report back to you guys next week, I'll have a better opinion of it. You're like, we don't want to hear any more about it. I think people do. I think it's unfortunately a little too juicy. It's a little too interesting. It's a little too exciting. But I want to know what you guys think about it, and I'd love to read your comments. And if you want to send us an email instead, if you want to send me an email instead, it's ethanyoungpodcast@gmail.com. I am Ethan R. Young on Instagram, so that's Ethan R. Young. My middle name is Richard, so that's because I am a dick all the time. Just kidding, but kind of not. It's funny, I told my son that the other day, and he was like, you really are. Not in that exact context. I said it in some other context. I think he was asking me, he was like, yeah. I was like, well, just because I'm an asshole, and I'm grumpy, and I'm mean, and I'm angry, and I'm upset, and I'm ungrateful, and I'm a little bit less occasionally. And so he was like, you really are. You really are. And so, yeah, I guess it's those moments where I'm not that I realize, you know, all the rest of it. But tell me what you guys realized, what you realized about the trial, what you knew about the feuds in Podcastville. If you knew what sus was, if you've had somebody call you sus, if you've been referred to as a simp, if your kids or some younger people that you're around talk about terms that you're just completely not up on, and you know, it's just like almost unbelievable. It's funny, I was just listening to the radio the other day, and they were talking about how they were like, this song is 32 years old. And I was like, fuck, dude, that's so old. Can you believe that? And then they were like, this came out, and I was like totally already born and living and shit by then. And I was like, God damn it. I was like, fuck. That means I'm older than that. I'm so dumb. Like, I didn't even realize that. Like, it just happens so quickly. You know what I mean? Like, I had already, so this song was younger than I am, and I was thinking, that shit's so fucking old. But if there's anything that's causing you to realize that you're already there, and maybe just that you didn't realize it was going to happen so fast either, But can't wait to talk to you guys again next week. I'm so happy that you joined me this week. I look forward to chatting with you more. Look forward to reading your comments. Look forward to reading your emails. Look forward to just doing this with you again week after week. And I'm glad you came. And I look forward to chatting with you again. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Whatever it takes to keep things moving between now and next time I see you. Or you see me. But thanks, guys. Love you. Bye-bye.